What is up, everybody? Is your boy Triple G93 here, giving you another commentary video, this time playing as Colony. So I saw something online in regards to vehicle symbiosis with Colony, and it turns out you can use vehicle symbiosis on a locked base and it will apply to all the units that are associated with it. So I've been messing around with it here and there, and this is one of those games in which I was messing around with vehicle symbiosis as well. So I opened up with the chopper, and to use that chopper to go ahead and scout, I did have a teammate ping me to get the mini base. And so I went and prioritized that instead, just trying to be as good of a teammate as I can. I don't think I needed it that early, honestly, which is why I didn't grab it right away to go ahead and get the supplies instead. So the next 200 supplies will go straight towards the generator, which I ended up building on the right side. And then I decided to go ahead and grab the mini base because I have that 200 supply, and then I went back to go grabbing supplies. I was uncontested in the power and the supply, those big batches, and so that worked out very nicely. I decided to make one more supply depot, and then I will probably go ahead and go and scout to see what the enemy is trying to do. So then I can decide whether I want to put something on that mini base, if I want to go hero or apex, and go something like that accordingly. So orange went to get those extra supplies. I had to retreat my grunt, bring him to the healing node, and then as soon as I'm done grabbing them supplies over there, I can heal up this grunt as well. And so now I'm sending out my chopper to go ahead and scout, and what do I see? I just see an armory, so that gave me the go ahead that, okay, at least orange is not going early. I started retreating my chopper, and then I decided, wait, my chopper doesn't need to be here. I need to go ahead and scout the other players, and so I went my chopper, sent him up to yellow. Did see a bunch of marines though, the marines that were attacking my grunt before, and I went to go ahead and attack that just to get a little bit of extra damage that I can go ahead and get done accordingly. So got my next gen upgraded, which that is very nice, and the chopper is killing those bunch of marines. Not much going on there. So the plan behind this is to go ahead and try and get an apex up, to get some engineers and skitters up so I can go ahead and get that heal going. And I locked my base while I kept producing skitters, so then when I get vehicle symbiosis I can go ahead and use that ability on the base. And so there we go, we got vehicle symbiosis. We're waiting for one engineer to be built. We're going to keep making skitters. Both my generators are upgraded, which means I want to go ahead and try and get my leader out now if possible. So I did notice that the Yap Yap that we're playing against does have a raid camp and did make a building destroyer unit. So I pinged to let my team know like what's going on there. Now I wasn't able to grab the node. That's very shame on me, but you know, that's what the situation called for at the time. I was doing other things. My chopper is getting trapped actually from these little slappers of grunts that we got going on, but he was able to escape, and I'm sending him right back to the healing pad. We got that node, which is great. I'm still producing skitters, and I unlocked the base so then I can go ahead and get my first batch of vehicle symbiosis units up and going. I only made one engineer. I think it would have been nice if I actually was able to squeeze out one more. Decided to grab a second base because I know orange is going armory, so I think I'm relatively safe, and I'm going to go ahead and just get my leader out and upgrade taunt as well. I know that reset my power, and takes me longer to go ahead and go to Tech 2, but I still felt comfortable enough to go ahead and make that decision. I'm going to have a hero to go ahead and protect myself. If we look at the mini map at the bottom right, you see that green is heading straight to yellow's base. So that was my cue to go ahead and scout orange and see what he's doing, and then I'm going to go ahead and keep moving up with my army to see what I can do with it. Right now it's sitting actually, but yellow, if you notice the mini map, he has units escaping from his base, and they're going. They start retreating back to the base, but then they disappeared, and that's something that I didn't really pick up on. So I went to go ahead and check if orange got a second expansion base, and then all of a sudden I just start seeing units over here. So I saw that orange didn't get a second base. I start retreating immediately. I'm still floating on a little bit of supplies, and fortunately my colony is out, and I'm making a huge beeline straight to my base in general. I'm heading to Tech 2, but I don't have much units to go ahead and fight this situation. So I spend the extra power to go ahead and upgrade that, and then I decide to go ahead and build another generator. Now looking back at the game, that was not a good decision, and we're going to see why soon enough. So we got a very big push going on. We have both Johnson with the bunker going in there, and you have Yap Yap going in as well, and they're targeting my generator. So that generator that I ended up building was not really the best move for me. I did vehicle symbiosis on my main base again, so I can unlock the base and start getting a bunch of upgraded skitters out. When I mean by upgraded skitters, I just mean skitters that are, more armor, more range. So then I'm trying to get the engineer ability to go ahead and heal. I use it, and I ended up losing the generator anyway, so that ended up being incredibly disappointing. And so I'm here trying to defend my base. There's a lot going on. Green ended up making a full retreat over to my base, which that was very nice of him. So I have to move my colony out because I don't have the ability of Siphon Overcharge yet. And then you see yourself a cleansing beam going down to help get rid of the rest of Yellow's army. Now it's just Orange's bunker that I have to deal with. Orange is still trying to send reinforcements over to help support the bunker play. And he starts to retreat it after he realizes that there's not much he can do. So puts down another bunker to try and save his guy, but we got a lot of DPS on that. We end up getting it entirely. Hurting in the supply department. Power is still doing alright, but remember, I spent 800 on that generator. So we're targeting the hero, and the hero is about to end up going down. He's trying to attempt the Y move, then he retreats. It doesn't really work out. So I use that opportunity to go ahead and try and refix my economy, get my second foundry up, got my Marauder getting ready to go, and remember the base is locked up, so like I'm not gonna have reinforcements for a bit yet until my next vehicle symbiosis ability comes up. It's still about a quarter ways in, and so I'm gonna go ahead and try and tease a little bit on the enemy to see if I can go ahead and do anything about it. Also made an apex on my home base as well. This is something that I just ended up doing because I didn't have a building slot associated with it, but I usually just have two foundries on there, and that's it. So I noticed that there were some army there, and I decided to do a full retreat as well because Yap Yap put down his shade turrets, and because we did vehicle symbiosis, we do have two marauders that are fully that have that ability on, and then we put some of our skitters onto all of our marauders as well. Base is relocked up. We're upgrading our second base, and now Colony's just going to go ahead and start working on the shade turrets while we go ahead and try and get our army bigger and bigger as we can. Now I didn't attach that other skitter on there, surprisingly, so maybe I end up doing it later. But foundry, I'm now starting to mix in some locusts. I'm trying to mix in a little bit more marauders, get that vehicle upgrade, get teleport just in case I have to deal with the cleansing beam. And we're still keeping up a little bit of pressure, and we have green and blue attacking red at the top, which means I'm going to need to handle whatever's happening on my side if they choose to double. So still playing it relatively safe, just having Colony clear out the shade turrets. And now I'm going to go ahead and go for a small push. So still making locusts, still making skitters, and now I'm going in for a push with Colony, and we're going to go ahead and try and take out some of these marauders. A marauder that's there. He does have elite enforcers, and it doesn't scare me at all. Like, I have a marauder. A marauder did end up hitting a mine, but it only took out half of its HP, so it really worked out. My teammates are doing very good at their side, and yellow ends up retreating entirely to go ahead and deal with whatever's happening over there. And so I'm here keeping continuous pressure. Still haven't seen orange. I don't really know what orange is doing, but I noticed that all of a sudden there's Banshees showing up, so I had to go ahead and build Reavers instead. Now, I don't know why I'm going back and forth, but once again, use Vehicle Symbiosis on my base, unlock it. So now my next batch of reinforcements is going to be coming in, so I'm just going to go ahead and hold this high ground with my colony. More reinforcements come in. I have my buildings hotkeyed, don't know why I keep going to use to the building to go ahead and do that stuff. And now you see yellow retreating as a hold. I'm guessing to go help out red because he's in serious trouble over there. But now I have, like, my marauders are up front. You have a Mac that goes in, and it was able to hit 2 engineers and 2 of my marauders, but the healing is going down, and you can see that my Marauders, they're just taking hit after hit right now, and nothing is really happening. So we're treating the Marauder that's damaged a little bit. We now got Locust support as well, and our colony is just doing a lot of work right now. And so we're continuing this pressure up. We haven't even lost a Marauder yet. And we got good consistent healing going in. We got Locust dealing damage on the base. And now I'm just going to go ahead and upgrade reinforcements because I'm getting near that pop cap. And if you look, Orange with this Mantis, it's just they're not really able to do anything. Like, the Locust starts taking damage now because siege is happening. But as you can see, my army is very tanky. It is not, they're not doing any proper work towards it. Everything that Orange had, all those Mantis were gone. I'm trying to micro out a Locust to try and keep it alive, but unfortunately, I did lose a few because of the artillery. But I have a level 2 now. I have another Marauder set up. I have Reaver to deal with the little air that's being made as well. And Colony's a level 2, so at this point, his Siphon, with his ability, is just going to be doing so much work. And I'm just getting my Locust in position to go ahead and keep doing damage. And Yellow ends up disconnecting, ends up resigning, because Red also ends up getting destroyed on their side as well. And it just goes to show that Vehicle Symbiosis, it's a very underrated ability. I don't get Hunter Brand, so, you know, there are caveats to this build. There's strengths and there's downsides to it. But that engagement, I was incredibly efficient, incredibly sturdy, and I was able to make a power push in which the enemy wasn't able to do much about it. So for that game in general, I went 8 and 54. So I know some of those units were yap yap units, so it may have inflated my numbers a little bit, but I was still incredibly efficient. Great supply game, great units destroyed, few units lost, and this strategy kind of worked out. I'm going to continue work with this like build order and figure out Vehicle Symbiosis is something I want to consistently do with Colony, but we'll find out later down the road. With that being said, you have a good one, have a splendid one, hope you enjoyed this, and until next time, G out.